Let us chant the prayers. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna-pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-vedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshutarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय। So welcome everyone. We are continuing our discussion from Bhagavad Gita, and today we have reached the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, I'll show you the PPT so that we are quickly into it. Okay. So the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 49, 47 verses. Yeah. And it's a prelude to the middle 6 chapters. It brings us to the qualification by which we can go for bhakti, devotion to Krishna. By the time the chapter ends, Krishna is going to glorify bhakti yoga. Till now, in different chapters, if you go through the verses, you'll find there's a snippet or a little drop of bhakti everywhere. But as we go to the 6th chapter, Krishna will emphatically glorify the bhakti yogi, and then begins the middle 6 chapters where Krishna will elaborately speak on the process of devotional service, Krishna consciousness, right? Devotional yoga. Okay, so before we begin, this chapter will require that we do a good revision. The revision is, how will we do the revision is, I'll ask you some questions. Okay. In case you're able to answer it, any one of you also, I'll consider that everyone knows, everyone knew that answer, and we move ahead. So these are basics, and that's how we're going it. So the first question is, if you're asked this question, who are you? What will be your answer?
Yeah,
Anybody?
we are. Yeah, Abhishek Nair Prabhu has written, "We are soul."
No, I don't want them to write. Somebody should speak out. It's very difficult for me to go through the chat at the same time when we are discussing this. If somebody can speak out quickly. What happened?
Yeah, everyone is just okay. I'll. It's written as iPhone, Prabhuji or Mataji. I've unmuted you. Please go ahead.
No. What's happening? I'm asking a simple question. Who are you?
Yeah, many devotees are just answering Prabhuji in the chat. They're writing, "I am soul."
Why? Have you muted them or something that they cannot answer?
Like, yeah, if someone raise their hand, then I unmute them.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
Robin Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Usually, when somebody asks like, "Who are you?" Like in general, we tell our name and what we do. So, name and also whatever we do, it's become our self, like our dharma, like our work is who we are, like what I do for living. In general, that's how I every day I introduce myself. who are you? I say I'm Robin Olak, and I do like
So, as per Bhagavad Gita or as per truth, is that your identity? Are you the name? Because
no,
the name
yeah,
can change,
yes,
right? The profession can change. A day will come when you'll be asked by your boss or wherever you're working, or by the time, enough, you can't work anymore. Forget it. Right? You don't have the strength now. You don't have the capacity. Then what is your identity then? So we are into the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That's why I'm saying, as per Bhagavad Gita, as per truth,
mhm.
what is our identity? Who are we?
So as per our identities, like obviously soul, like what our self is,
Okay.
our nature, like our
Okay.
nature of
Thank you,
our soul.
Robin. Robin, thank you. Thank you. Okay. My next question. If we are spirit soul, if we are soul, then what are we doing in the body?
We need body to
No,
perform.
Robin, wait. Let others also answer, Robin. If we are soul, then what are we doing in the body or doing with this body?
So I've like anyone who wants to
You,
answer can unmute themselves.
and Gaurav, in case you find that somebody's typed it, you can read it because I cannot
We,
focus on. Yes, go ahead. Who's there?
Namaste, Guruji. We are doing our duties, that we are doing the karma that we are supposed to do in our bodies, through our bodies.
Mhm. The idea is I am soul. I have this body. This body makes me work hard. This body makes me go around. This body gives me trouble. This body is temporary. Why is the soul in this body? Please go ahead. Whoever is Ramya.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Soul, it needs an instrument to execute itself. It's like body is like an instrument. It's like a means to do things in this earthly world.
Okay. So you mean to say soul needs the body or the body needs the soul?
Body to be considered as living needs a soul. Soul to be in this earth to execute.
No. You answer me. Who depends on whom? The body depends on the soul, or the soul depends on the body?
Body depends on the soul's karma, I believe. And
No.
soul depends on the body.
Don't complicate by saying karma and all. I'm simply asking who depends. See, there's electricity, there's bulb, right?
Okay.
Can electricity exist without the bulb?
Yes.
Yes. Is there any use of that bulb without the electricity?
No.
So body and soul. Now who is more important?
Soul is the operator.
Very good. The soul is more important. The body will finish as soon as the soul leaves, the body will die, right?
Yes.
So now this understanding that soul has to undergo its karma. No, we have performed karma and that's why we are suffering that karma. What do we need to do? If we have to come out of this karma, then we have to do yoga. What does that yoga mean? Yoga means, like in India, we'll say, Shadi ka yoga hua hai. Vivaha ka yoga hai. That means two people will come together in a relationship. So in yoga, the soul is there who has to come out of the karma cycle, has to do yoga in connection with Supreme, in connection with God, right? In connection with Krishna, right? So now when the yoga has to be done, it can be done at what all levels of yoga are possible? What all names you have heard of in terms of yoga till now in Bhagavad Gita discussion?
Bhakti yoga.
Oh, that's one.
Karma yoga.
Okay. Karma yoga. What
Jnana
else? Jnana yoga.
Nishkam yoga.
Nishkama karma yoga. Yes. Nishkama yoga. Nishkama karma yoga. What else? One more. One more if you can tell. Very important one.
Bhakti yoga.
Sankhya yoga.
No.
Jnana yoga.
Very good.
Jnana yoga.
Sankhya yoga is Jnana yoga. One still is remaining.
Bhakti yoga, Prabhuji.
If you have your Bhagavad Gita with you, what is the title of the chapter number 6?
Jnana Yoga.
Sorry? Chetan, I could not hear you.
Dhyana Yoga.
Very good. Dhyana Yoga. Okay. So what happens is, see, I am Atma. I am trapped in this body, have performed past karma. That karma cycle makes me take bodies. The soul has to get liberated. That means the soul has to, who will liberate? So if let's say Chetan is sitting on the chair now, and he's tied by a rope. Using a rope, somebody ties him to the chair, his hands, legs, everything. How does Chetan get freed? Somebody he has to call out. That somebody has to be free, right? And that person can free me. If I am bound, somebody who is not bound can free me. So the soul calling out to God, right? Everybody else I see here, everybody is caught like me only. Somebody better on the spiritual path can also, advanced on the spiritual path can also help me, surely. But ultimately, everyone depends on God. Everybody depends on God. The soul trapped in the body, how do I come out? By yoga with God. Where does the yoga begin? You see, very quickly, all of you are mixing this word karma, karma, karma. What does it mean? The soul wants to be active. But when we are active with the body, we collect karma and we remain in this world, never to get liberated. We have to come out of this karma cycle. So the tendency is to do karma. That means people will get into karma yoga first, action. But again, the question will come, action binds me. Then what kind of action? So karma yoga is two types. We have discussed sakama karma, nishkama karma. What is sakama karma? Sakama karma means every action has two parts, the action and the result. I will begin sakama karma yoga first, where I am attached to action and I am attached to results. But what is the problem? As much you are attached to the results, again you have to take birth. So action for Krishna, result for Krishna, but I am attached to both. So then one has to go beyond it. Nishkama karma yoga means I am attached to action, but detached from results. I offer the results in yoga to Krishna. Nishkama karma yoga. When you have performed Nishkama karma yoga, we discussed in the 3rd chapter and the 4th chapter and the 5th chapter, Nishkama karma yoga causes purification of the heart. The heart is dirty. The Atma wants to do yoga with Krishna, but the dirty heart comes into between. The anartha, the mind comes in between. And, you find so many people will want to practice on the spiritual path. And Arjuna asked that question in the 3rd chapter. Why is a person impelled to commit sinful acts? Very nicely going on spiritual path. Why does this guy fall from the path? Why can't we in a determined way practice? Someday we will say, yes, Sunday I'll go to temple, right? And by the time it's Sunday, my mind says, oh, sleep. I want to do some good work, but my mind opposes. So this heart will get purified of this, where it is lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion, 6 of them, which sidetrack me, which distract the soul from the yoga path. Nishkama karma yoga purifies the heart of these. Then what will happen? Then, because there is place now jnana yoga, then one will cultivate knowledge further. Once one has performed action, nishkama karma, one will be impelled from within. I want to know more. What is this creation? What is soul? What is happening? Till now, I was running around working in this world. Where was the time to think? But now, when the heart is purified, because I am not attached to results, very, very important step one has to cross. Like when you tell people, oh, you have earned a good amount of money, you should do charity. Oh, why should I do charity? I have earned, action was mine, result was mine. But as soon as you perform charity, the heart becomes light. You're sharing, you're caring, you're giving it back to God. right? You're using it in service of God. So now when the space is created, then jnana, then knowledge is cultivated. As soon as knowledge comes, right? Like in ignorance, I may think something to be enjoyment. But if I get knowledge, then, oh, no. I will not do this. Like it's very easy to go to a fast food joint and quickly take something and eat. Oh, it was so easy. I didn't have to do any hard work of purchasing and cooking and everything. I could, but when we read the packet, we realize, oh, there's so many chemicals in this. It's harmful for health. As soon as knowledge comes, then I know, oh, in ignorance what all I ate and what all dirty things I was doing. So knowledge will bring detachment. Okay. So action, which is nishkama karma, will bring knowledge. Knowledge will bring detachment. And when the detachment from the world is there, then meditation is possible. This is what brings us to dhyana yoga. Whom to meditate on? And a dhyana yogi will come to, then go gradual, the yoga ladder, the dhyana yogi will go to bhakti yogi. One can straight jump. I understood everything. I can take. So Srila Prabhupada would say, if you have to go, let's say, to a 28th floor apartment on a high rise, you can take the staircase or you could take the ladder. Sorry. You could take the staircase or you could take the elevator. I'm sorry. Right? Staircase or the elevator. The staircase is, I want to reach Krishna. Nishkama karma, jnana, dhyana, and bhakti. That's the staircase. What is the elevator? I understand I have to come to bhakti. I surrender to Krishna. Right? And I'm devoted to Krishna. My mind, my body, my intelligence, my action, everything for Krishna. Everything for God. Either I take the staircase method or I take the elevator path. Okay. So, we have come today to the chapter of Dhyana Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yogi, sufficiently purified in heart, will cultivate knowledge. That knowledge will bring detachment. And detachment from this world will help us to meditate. Right? Like, when there is some very serious issue going at home, right, and we are very attached to it, even if we go to office, we cannot work at office. We are thinking of something at home. And when we are at home, we are doing something at office, some important work. Even at home, right, the family members will complain, why do you bring your office to the home? Right? So attachment does not allow you to meditate. When you're at office, you should do your office work. When you're at home, be at home. So when there is detachment, oh, I have left office now. Let me be at home now. When I'm at office, okay, home is good, but I have to do my office work. So detachment will help you to meditate. Right? A simply worldly example I'm giving. When I'm detached from this world itself, neither office, neither home, neither this body, I am Atma, sufficient detachment has come, then one will be able to meditate. Like one person was asking me, you sit at one place for 2 hours and chant. Right? He saw me sitting straight with my back erect and my hair, and I'm chanting for 2 hours sitting at one place. He said, how can you do it? I can't sit for 5 minutes. See, why can't we sit for 5 minutes also? There is, go back to karma, jnana, detachment and dhyana. Dhyana is possible only when there is sufficient detachment from this world. Okay. So this is what brings us to chapter number 6. Any question anybody has? Because this chapter I'm going to finish fast. I'll try my best to complete it in half an hour. Okay, because the basic was most important. This understanding has to be very clear. Why have we come to Dhyana Yoga, and then why will we go to Bhakti Yoga from here? Because 6th chapter will end where Krishna will give all these names: Karma, Jnana, Dhyana, Bhakti, and he'll say Bhakti Yogi is topmost. Any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I have a question. You
Yes,
said
Prabhu.
Niskam karma, when we do the karma but give not attached to the result or give the result to the offer to Krishna. Let's say that if we don't accept the result for ourselves but give the result to welfare of other living entity or other human beings or country,
Yeah.
how do we define it?
So,
Should we call them Niskam
what?
karma also?
No. Everything belongs to whom?
Krishna.
Then whom are you offering?
Krishna.
No. You are saying
Yeah.
welfare of the world, welfare of the family. It's all selfishness at another level.
Okay.
It is not yet selfless because everything belongs to God. Offer it to God.
Okay.
But as much as envy I have for God, that much I will keep it to myself or keep it away from Krishna. It belongs to God. Give it to God. Serve it for God's purpose, which indeed means that everyone and everything belongs to God, right? Like why is that concept of offering milk to Shiva or offering flower to Krishna? Offer it back. Offering to Guru, right? Because they are representatives of Krishna. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other question? Gaurav Prabhu, I cannot see if anybody is typing anything.
No, Prabhu, I don't think we have any other
Okay.
questions.
Thank you. Let's dive into chapter number 6, Dhyana Yoga. The acronym for this is easy. EASY. The first 9 verses talk about being enemy or friend. We will discuss this. Okay. So detachment comes to one who realizes that he is not autonomous in his actions. I completely depend on God's sanction, the material nature, providing all the necessities, right? So when one comes to the point that without God's sanction, Allah की मर्जी के बगैर एक पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता. Not a blade of grass moves without God's sanction. Coming to this realization, one understands why was I running around controlling everything, thinking I am the controller, right? So I can only see the Jiva desires the Paramatma, Krishna, God sitting in the heart as Atma is there, Paramatma is there. So the Paramatma sanctions and then the material nature, right, does the job, right? Like somebody can have angry nature, somebody could have jolly nature. And what about this material nature? Whose nature is it? We call it its nature. Oh, nature is so beautiful, right? But whose nature? God's nature, right? Mother nature. Then who is father? So God sanctions the material nature, mother nature provides, but the jiva can only desire. One who has come to this level of realization on the spiritual path, everything is happening because of God's sanction. One becomes detached. If God permits, if it's God's mercy, then it may happen. I depend on God, right? This detachment, so one who purifies his vision and activity by Nishkama Karma Yoga can make further advancement, right? So Nishkama Karma, Jnana, then one will come to Ashtanga Yoga. One will meditate on the Paramatma within the heart, the super soul, as given in the scriptures, right? How the Paramatma looks, what is the, the beauty, what is the form. One wants to meditate and go to the point of reaching Paramatmas, right? Meditating on super soul. And when one has come to the super soul, one will come to bhakti, right? That was the end of the last chapter. Krishna is saying, I am the supreme enjoyer. I am the bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhurdam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantim richati. One will be peace, one will become peaceful in this world where everyone is agitated. The mind and senses are keeping us agitated. But one has come to Shant, has become Shant, peaceful. When one understands, ultimately God is the enjoyer. Krishna is the proprietor. Krishna, is the best friend of everyone. So, so Krishna begins this chapter by saying, very good, you have come to this point. You may want to practice Ashtanga Yoga. Krishna still cautions, be very careful. Do not suddenly give up your Nishkama Karma, thinking, I will run to forest, I will go away to forest. Because Arjuna wanted to do that. Krishna is once again telling Arjuna, wait, don't run away. Right? Krishna is saying a sannyasi who gives up, who renounces, and a yogi, both are equal, both are same. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Anashrita Karma Phalam Karyam Karma Karoti Yaha. One who performs action. Like you see a family here, there is their husband, wife, father, mother, a child, all are chanting Hare Krishna. You must be doing a job or something or some level of kind of work in the farm behind. Is this guy a great renounced person? Yes. This person has just not renounced externally, sitting under a tree and meditating, but this person is renounced from the fruits of his actions. So Krishna says renouncing action and renouncing fruits of the action. The second guy who can renounce the fruits is advanced. At a level same, sasanyasi cha yogi cha, right? Detached action is same as renunciation. Sometimes we feel, "Arey, chhod ke chala gaya." Oh, he gave up. What a great soul. He went to the forest. Right? But Krishna is saying, detached action. What is the detachment from? Not the action, but the result. Detached action is same as renunciation. Right? So, because the mind does not dwell on the enjoyment of senses now. Right? The yogi is not running in the world of senses and sense objects, right? Seems to be advanced. But a person working in this world, not attached to results, Krishna is saying, Sasanyasi cha yogi cha, right? Okay. So before practicing advanced stages of Ashtanga Yoga, we will discuss. So Ashtanga Yoga is Dhyana Yoga only. Dhyana Yoga is equal to Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga means 8 limbs. Dhyana has 8 limbs to it. So you can say Dhyana Yoga is equal to Ashtanga Yoga, Ashtanga, right? But before one can sit and do Dhyana, meditation for a long time, it will require, meditation has to go on for a long, one will have to become purified by Nishkama Karma Yoga practice. Otherwise, one may close his eyes, sit straight, but the mind is still focusing on sense objects. Right? Like the teacher would say, oh, you are physically present, mentally absent. Because the mind is still dwelling on sense objects. So Krishna glorifies a Nishkama Karma Yogi and says, this guy is better situated. Performing one's work, Nishkama, but how? Nishkama, detached from the result. So now, Ashtanga Yogi, the Dhyana Yogi, again I'm repeating, there are 2 levels. One is a beginner and one is a pro. 2 levels Krishna talks to, and he gives the 2 words. Dhyana Yogi or Ashtanga Yogi, the beginner is called Yoga Arurukshaha. See the word there on the slide there, Yoga Aruruksha Muni, Krishna says. One who is beginner on the Dhyana Yoga Marga. Right? So while performing Nishkama Karma Yoga, one needs to cultivate detachment and also practice Ashtanga Yoga and gradually further purify one's heart. Little purification has happened, little meditation will happen and the meditation will break. The more the heart is pure, the more the meditation will be better and stronger and longer. Right? So, beginner, okay, now let us discuss the 8 limbs. Ashta, Ashta in Sanskrit means 8. Anga means limbs. The 8 limbs of Dhyana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. The first limb is Yama. You must have heard Yamaraj, punishment. No, no. So on the Dhyana Yoga, there are certain prohibitions, Yama, don'ts. They are called Yama. Like Srila Prabhupada, before, he preached in the Western countries. These were Americans who came to him in the initial day or wherever in the world Prabhupada preached. Prabhupada would tell them 4 things you have to give up. What does it mean, Yama? You go to a doctor, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. Prabhupada would give that. Now, there were people who asked, Prabhupada, why do you, tell the don'ts first? People will go away. Prabhupada said, a genuine doctor has to tell the patient, don't do these things, otherwise the medicine will not have effect and the disease will aggravate. For the soul, the disease is the heart is dirty, the heart is impure. Certain actions are detrimental on the spiritual path. So, Yama, that's the first thing. Second, now there are Niyama, prescriptions, actions to be done. So, the Dhyana Yogi, there are some Yama, there are Niyama. Now, if you sit for meditation and the body is sickly, how you want to meditate and the body pulls you out of meditation. So asana, some bodily exercises are there, which generally in the Western world people think this is spirituality. No, this is the 3rd step. It was meant to keep good health, bodily health, physical health. Then you can meditate. So Yama, Niyama, Asana. Now, once you have done good asanas, you are good at that stage, then your breathing has to be controlled. Right? That is called pranayama. There are breathing exercises that are recommended. Anulom, pratilom, all those are technical words. But 4th stage is pranayama, breathing exercise. 5th is pratyahara, withdrawing senses from sense objects. Right? Even mentally. It's not that, I do Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam and I sit at one place and I allow my mind to think of a Bollywood movie or, a Hollywood movie, or I think of people or objects. No. Pratyahara, withdrawing from sense objects even internally. When you have done the 5 stages nicely, then you come to the 6th stage, dharana. Dharana means to capture, to hold. Right? Dharana stage is you fix the mind on the Lord's form. Right? This form is already given in scriptures. Krishna personally tells this. Bhagavatam, there is details. Our spiritual teachers, acharyas have already given. So here, what is already given, you meditate. Right? And how long can you meditate? Right? Dharana is the stage where you can fix your mind on the Lord's form for 12 seconds. That's all. 12 seconds you can hold. You have reached Dharana stage. It is so difficult. And we'll see Arjuna asking a question on this. Next is 7th stage, Dhyana. Right? When people say, I'm Dhyana kar rahe or Dhyana yoga, 7th step is such an important step. That's why the whole 8 angas are called Dhyana yoga only. So 7th stage is Dhyana, intensified meditation super soul. This is 12 into 12 seconds. If you can do that much, 144 seconds, you can hold your mind on the form of the Lord. You have reached the Dhyana stage. And the last is Samadhi, Ashta Anga 8, complete absorption. Right? In India, they will say, oh, our Guru has reached the Samadhi stage. Our Guru has attained Samadhi. Samadhi means 12 into 12 into 12 seconds. Samadhi. Right? So if you practice dhyana, so Nishkama Karma Yoga will come to Jnana, Jnana will bring you to Dhyana. Dhyana has 8 stages, the last being Samadhi. Continuous. So the soul is supposed to take this staircase path of one stage after next stage after the next stage and bring the person to Samadhi, complete absorption in trance, serving God, meditating on God. Or if one comes straight, takes the elevator path, okay, I'm supposed to become devoted to God. Let me take to Bhakti Yoga from beginning, where action is for Krishna, result is for Krishna. 24 hours one is in meditation. I only serve God. I only serve Krishna. Right? So these 8 limbs are explained by the Patanjali in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Okay. Now, the next. So 2 stages I had said. Beginner is Yoga Aruruksha on the Ashtangamar. Krishna says the advanced yogi is Yoga Arudha. And you'll see why when Krishna says this, Arjuna is going to ask some question here. So mind control and detachment of sense objects are the requirements to come to the advanced stage called Yoga Arudha stage, complete mind control over the mind. If I decide, I sit and I simply meditate. No other thoughts come in now. Yoga Arudha stage. So, Krishna tells Arjuna, because meditation, you will have to use your mind. Krishna says his mind is friend and his mind is the best enemy. The mind is friend when it is controlled. The mind is worst enemy when left uncontrolled. Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmaivatmanah jita anatmanastu shatrutve varte tatmaiva shatruvat. Krishna says, Bandhur, the mind is the best friend. Why? When one has won over this mind, control the mind. But when the mind is uncontrolled, Shatrutve, it's a best Shatru, it's the worst enemy. Right? How do you see this? You see the uncontrolled mind. Oh, people, okay. Lack of confidence, loss of trust, depression, stress, hypertension, weak determination, diseases, madness, right? What is it out of? It's all to do with the uncontrolled mind. So our senses are disturbed, the mind is uncontrolled, and the intelligence has become lusty. Look at it. All the instruments that I have, the soul has, the senses, the mind, and the intelligence, all are diseased. And in all of this mind, especially on the spiritual path, this mind has to be used for meditation. This mind is the most dangerously affected. So what is happening in last more than 6 sessions that we are sitting? Your intelligence is being nourished. When I'm discussing from Bhagavad Gita, I'm giving one chapter to you in an hour. The intelligence is becoming sharp. You may say the senses I have caught. No, I will not allow it to do dirty things anymore. I will not allow it to go, haywire, my senses. The eyes, the nose, ears, the tongue, the skin, they all demand touch with the sense objects. So there are senses and there are sense objects. So the yogi has to stop no. I had given the example of a tortoise. Just as a tortoise knows when to open up and when to wind up, the yogi should know this place is not good. This place will pull me into the world once again. Right? I will keep away from such places. Right? So the senses stopped, right? The intelligence being nourished, but what to do with this mind? This mind has to be purified. This mind, and purified before Krishna, the mind should be controlled. So, what is the result of action with uncontrolled mind? The hands and legs are working, but the hands and legs are ready to work, but the mind is dirty, uncontrolled. You see, rape, murder, liquor, suicide, prostitutes, burning cigarettes, people. And there are people who will say, I didn't want to do this wrong thing. Please, please forgive me. It was unintentional. It is simply uncontrolled mind. That's all. So we have the senses, we have the mind, and we have the intelligence. So the senses are eyes, nose, tongue, ears, and skin. There is what's happening. These senses, they give input to the mind, and the mind tells the senses, and that's how the work happens. Any karma happens, right? So if you allow the eyes to, see something dirty, lusty, the eyes will send the input to the mind and fill it with lust. Now, eyes have, the nose can have, take something in, the tongue, ears, skin, and everything goes and gets stored in the mind. So the mind is storehouse of thoughts. The mind is storehouse of unfulfilled desires. The mind is the storehouse of past experiences, right? So the senses and the mind, they are quite nicely joined. What is the intelligence doing? The decision maker, right? Like Gaurav Prabhu, let's say he's watching something on the screen and he sees something horrifying, right? The intelligence says, close the eyes, don't watch this. Oh, this would have left me disturbed. But the intelligence made a decision. So the intelligence is supposed to be the decision maker. Now we have to nourish the intelligence. The yogi has to nourish the intelligence, the jnana yoga. The knowledge factor will come here. When the intelligence is nourished, the intelligence will tell the mind. Let's say senses give the input, and the mind says, I like it. But the intelligence will say, no, you may like it, but in the long term, this will be dangerous for the spiritual path. And the mind says, no, I want it. And the intelligence says, no, you won't do it. And the mind says, I want it. Intelligence says, no. Ultimately, if the mind is more powerful or the mind is uncontrolled, the intelligence gives in. Okay, take it. Right? So one has to stop the senses from wrong inputs. The intelligence has to be nourished, but the mind is storehouse of the disease. This has to be worked upon. So Krishna gives the analogy of a chariot. 5 horses, there is the rope, there is the driver, and there is the passenger. So we as Atma, as soul, is the passenger in the chariot of this body. The Atma is the passenger. The intelligence is the charioteer. The ropes. So the 5 senses are the 5 horses are the 5 senses. And the horses have to be tied with a rope, and the intelligence has to hold. What is this rope? Very strong rope. That is the mind should be there. Right? Like that. So Krishna says, one who has controlled the mind, consider that you have already reached, you have realization of Paramatma. One has reached Paramatma Samahitaha, Shita Ushna Sukha Dukkheshu. What will happen in this world? Winter, summer, happiness and misery. In all this, one who has reached the yoga aruda stage, the pro stage on the dhyana yoga, one will not get affected by all this. Jnana vijnana triptatma oh, one is satisfied in the heart with the knowledge that one has. Jnana vikutastho vijitendriyaha. One has controlled senses. Yukta iti uchyate yogi. Samaloshrashma kanchana. With physical objects, the gold or stone is seen as same now. What this world of matter? What can gold give me and what? I don't need the gold, I don't need the stone. If somebody gives me stone, I will carve a deity out of it, of Krishna. If somebody gives me gold, I'll make, uh, jewelry out of it to offer it to Krishna. I don't want anything, right? The yogi. And then what do you do? So this is with non-living objects. The pro yogi, how will the pro yogi deal with people? Suhrit is heart to heart friend. Mitra is a udasina. Wonderful. In this world, relationships also pull me. My material relationships. They weaken my determination on the spiritual path. All the relationships that I have are temporary. Even if I want them to remain permanent, they will not. The kala, the time factor is very powerful, right? Maybe another few decades and none of us will be in this world in the same body. Where will be the mother and father? Like some of us may not have, may have lost their mother or father. Where are they today? Many of you may have friends in India, back in India, right? Where are they? They are living their life. You are living your life. The yogi at the advanced stage understands, how do I deal with them? Udasina, as much needed to continue on my spiritual journey. This there was a time when I was like 23, I went to my parents and I told them, I'm not going to work anymore. I'm not going to earn anymore. I want to make a very serious decision in my life. I want to renounce and I want to look like the way I live now. I live in a temple setting, right? I'm a very serious practitioner of spirituality. And all around, everyone was telling me, nahi hoga. Ho nahi payega shayad. It may not happen. Listen to us. We are your parents. We are your brothers, sisters. Don't give up on us. Don't go away. Right? And they were saying, how are you able to make this decision? I said, I don't know. I am. Right? Look at so many. They are practicing, while living in this world. I said, they are also glorious. But my heart calls for this. Right? So, how do you deal? One on the yoga Arudha stage understands my spiritual purpose is more important than anything else in this world. Nothing is more important to me. Everything else I've been giving importance to it in last life also I gave importance to something. That's why one more birth. When will I become serious? When will I become determined? The yoga Arudha stage. But then you'll find people will say, oh, that guy made a serious decision in life to practice spirituality. But see, Vishwamitra, he fell down to Menka's charm. Right? Somebody falls down, Urvashi's charm. Somebody falls down for some little money. Right? Like, in Prabhupada's time in Seattle, one person donated a restaurant to the temple. He wanted to donate. So he came to the president. And the president said, I'm a little busy. And he told one devotee in the temple, please, you can get the legal work done and let me know at the end when everything is done. This devotee, yes. After 2-3 months, the president of the temple realized, oh, there was some restaurant which was going to come in donation. Somebody wanted to offer as to the temple. What happened to it? So the president called this devotee and asked, what happened to the legal work? He said, that's done. Oh, really? Show me the papers. And when the papers were brought in front of the president, the restaurant was not in the name of the temple. The restaurant was in the name of this devotee. And the president said, the donation was for the temple. Why did you make it in your name? He said, it is mine. I want to keep it. I like the restaurant. You see, one restaurant pulled this yogi away from serious spiritual practice. And the complaint was sent to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, look at this. The donor wanted to give it to the temple, and this devotee took it in his name. What should we do? Should we call police? Should we make a police complaint? And Prabhupada said, no, we don't want to get into all this. This guy got sidetracked by a small restaurant donation, some $100. Right? Like you won't believe, in our temple in Pune, one time we saw, when we put cameras in the temple hall, we saw small kids would come and the donation box, the hundi that we keep, these guys would come with some, a small steel kind of, what do I call it? They had made some sort of a hook out of a steel wire, and that's how they would take out money from the donation box when nobody was watching. Now imagine, why do you come to temple? To offer to Krishna, not to take from Krishna. A yoga arudha person has understood, I don't want anything from this world. If my existence is there, it is meant for my spiritual purpose. It is meant for yoga. It is meant to connect to Krishna. Right? So Krishna talks about, some basic practices of meditation, how to sit, how to deal with the mind. And then he talks about between 6.18 to 6.32, 6th chapter, 32nd, perfection in meditation. So the beginner, how does one practice meditation, and how do you reach, what does the perfected guy do? That is between 6.10 to 6.32. Let's go to that section quickly. So yoga arudha stage, yoga yunjit satatam, atmanam rahasi stitah, ekaki, focused for one purpose. Nirashir, aparigr, nirasha, no asha in this world now. No desire in this world. No expectation from this world. Aparigraha, nothing to amass, nothing to carry. We find, traditionally the sadhus, one kamandalu, one small bag, right? One mala. Okay. How is this guy so satisfied? Has reached a stage, Arudha stage, Srila Prabhupada, going around the world, opening temples, the most beautiful palatial palaces, and Prabhupada just moves on to the next place. Very advanced yogi, right? Then Krishna talks about how does one sit. That much details are given. How to sit in meditation, the beginner. So Krishna says, you see, your spine, your neck, and your head has to be in one line, straight. As soon as you sit like this, now you see you'll be able to meditate nicely. But if you bend your back or neck, it's so difficult then. So sitting straight, that's why asanas are required. Otherwise, the back pains, back hurts, right? So, samam kaya shiro. So, kaya, shiro, grivam. Three things. Samam, they have to be in one line. Dharayam, achalam, sthiraha. And brahmachari vrate. One has to practice brahmacharya vrata. Right? No illicit sex. Right? Matchitta. You see that is in caps. Krishna says, one has to meditate on me. Mat chitta, his mind has to be focused on me. Then Krishna talks about yukta ahar, your eating has to be controlled. Yukta vihar, your recreation has to be controlled. Yukta cheshta karmasu, your actions have to be controlled. Yukta swapna, your sleep has to be controlled. How much will you sleep? Yukta bodha, you're waking up, right? Sleep and waking up time. You have to be very, very focused. And once you do reach this stage, Krishna says, yogo bhavati dukkha. on the yoga marga, on the path of yoga, now there will be no more misery. If you know how to regulate these things, ahara, eating, vihara, recreation, action, sleep, and waking up. 5 things Krishna says. Dukkha, there will be no dukkha, there will be no misery on the yoga marg then. And perfection, Krishna talks about just as a lamp in a windless place. Right? There's a lamp, right? Right? And now if the wind is blowing, the lamp, the flame will waver. But if the flame, is not waving anymore, right? Does not waver anymore, Krishna says the mind becomes like that, focused. One pointed attention on Krishna, right? So there are methods that Krishna gives, right? And Krishna tells what is the success formula for a yogi. From yoga aruruksha to yoga aruda, the mind will jump, the mind will run. Bring it back. Yato yato nishchalati manaschancchalam asthiram tatastato niyamnyaitat atmanyaiva vasham nayet. Krishna says, mana chanchalam, the mind is chanchala, flickering, asthiram, right? Not focused. It will run. Right? When we chant Hare Krishna, we want to chant and hear the holy name. The hearing is meditation. And very simple job. Chant with your mouth and hear with your ears. But the mind will come in between and not allow me to meditate. But Krishna is saying the success formula is catch the mind and bring it back. You see the cartoon there? The kid wants to play. Mama has to go catch it by ears and bring it home, bring the kid home for studies. Similarly, the mind has to be dealt like that. Now, Arjuna puts a concern here. Suddenly, because Arjuna understands, he's advanced yogi himself. For our sake, he asks Krishna, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Oh, Krishna, this mind is very flickering. Pramati, it's mad. Balavat, it is very strong. Dridam, it is obstinate. Tasyaham nigraham manni. If you ask me to control that mind, Vayoriva sudushkaram, I can control a raging storm. I can stop wind. Wind is easy to stop, but not the mind. It is so flickering. So this strong mind is supposed to be controlled by the practice of yoga. But Arjuna says this dhyana yoga is impractical for an ordinary person. So next 2 verses, Krishna says, I accept. What is this mind? Krishna says, Asamshayam mahabaho. Asamshayam, no doubt, no samshaya, Arjuna. What you said is correct. Mano durnigraham chalam. This mind is very difficult to be controlled. But Krishna says, Abhyasetna tu kaunteya. You'll have to do abhyasa. You'll have to do practice. Practice makes one perfect. And one more thing will be required, Arjuna. Vairagyena cha grihate. You will require vairagya in this world. Some renunciation is required. Simply put, what is renunciation? If you want to meditate, you will have to take out 10 minutes at least for one round of chanting Hare Krishna. You want to chant 16 rounds, your renunciation is, I take out 2 hours from my day. It is for the soul. Why am I continue serving the body? The body will demand 24 hours. I have to steal time from the body and give it to the soul. So mind control is a must for yoga. Let's go to the 3rd section, success and failure. Arjuna will ask this question, Krishna, if somebody fails on this yoga marg, gets distracted, then what happens to such a yogi? Right? What happens to the successful one? Right? So Arjuna gives the example in 37th verse. You have seen sometimes you'll find, rainy season in India, especially tropical country, we have monsoon. The clouds get formed in the ocean, over the ocean, and the wind displaces these clouds on towards the land. And what happens? The cloud pours rain, but one cloud somewhere hangs in between, separate from other clouds. One remains. So Arjuna says, Krishna, one yogi who falls off the path like that, Chinnabhram iva nashyati. What happens? Like, I can tell you from my case, everyone's case actually that way. I must have been alive. I must have lived in the last life in somebody, right? Let's say I was an engineer in last life, but this birth, I again had to go to primary school, nursery, A, B, C, D. That engineering degree did not come to me in the next life. Arjuna's question is, inquiry is, somebody has practiced yoga in this life, but he dies without perfecting. What will happen in the next life? Where does he begin? Does he become like a raven cloud? Right? Brahmana Pathi, na Maya Mili, na Ram. What will happen to such a person? In this life, one falls while practicing. Why does one fall? Again, worldly desires come up. Something of world attracts, distracts. So the yogi falls. And if somebody dies without perfecting, right? At perfection is, we have already discussed, at the point of death, I have to think of Krishna, but I could not. But I was advanced on the path. Then what will happen to such a person in next life? Carry forward hoga ki nahi? Does anything on the spiritual path gets carry forwarded? This is Arjuna's question. Small practice and falls. Why does one fall? Some material desire is there. Long practice, but falls or could not finish. Then what happens? So Krishna says, first of all, understand, Arjuna, on the spiritual path, there is no misfortune. On the material path, no matter what you have done, you have earned money, you had a big family, you had a big home, you had big possessions. At death, you have to leave everything and begin from scratch in the next life. Nothing goes with you. But Krishna says, on the spiritual path, anything you have done for Atma, on the spiritual path, remains with you. It's your eternal bank account. Partha naiveha namutra vinashastasya vidyate. No vinasha. For material thing, there is vinasha. There is end, beginning and end. But Atma, it is eternal. Anything done for the sake of Atma, eternal. Durgatim tat gacchati nahi kalyan. Oh, kalyan marga. It was an auspicious path. No misfortune. So Krishna says, one who falls after a short practice, what will happen? Oh, this guy fell because of some material desire. So Krishna says, I reward that person. Imagine. What is the reward? This person will go to Swarga. Punya Kritam Lokan, and enjoy there. Dhyana yogi who falls after a short practice, Krishna says, one falls down because of some worldly desire. I will give a chance to fulfill that desire in heavenly planets. Then what will happen? Will come down to this earth. Then what will happen? One will get birth, that soul will get birth at a home of very purified people, or very wealthy people. Gehe's homes. Such families, I give birth to such a soul. Either, very purified life they are living, Shuchinam or Srimatam are very wealthy people. Yoga Bhrashta, one who could not complete or one who fell after short practice. Okay, short practice, you reward. Go to the, heavenly planets. Again, when you come, Purified homes means very quickly one will pick up from there. Wealthy people means this guy will not have to struggle for making the two ends meet, and one will continue on spiritual practice, short practice from where one fell down, one will continue. Like you'll find, we will discuss 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Each of us will have different conviction after understanding Bhagavad Gita. Some of us may have brought it from last life and will pick up fast. Oh, I understood this, I understood that. And there are others who will feel, what's the big deal? Another thing I heard, that's all, nothing much. Right? So if you haven't brought the currency along from last birth, you'll find a lot of, one may take more time to pick up. But if one has, one has brought it from last life, one will very quickly pick up. Okay, so this is unsuccessful yogi who falls after short practice. What about one who falls after a long practice, duration practice? Krishna says to such a person, right? Krishna says that yogi will take birth in the houses of advanced devotees, advanced souls, right? From where spiritual path will be very quick. So you'll find in ISKCON, you'll find children taking birth in the family of devotees, practicing devotees. Very quickly they'll get the perfection. Bhakti yoga, chant Hare Krishna. You see devotee children, these Prabhupada, they're advanced yogis. Right? So human beings can live non-regulated life or a regulated life. Those who non-regulated, right? Civilized, educated, strong; uncivilized, uneducated, weak. But those who live regulated life as humans, they'll follow scriptures, even for their material enjoyment. Right? They will work for liberation. They are devotees. So we have to become regulated. Okay. So in the human form, when the soul gets the human form, we have developed intelligence. We have advanced intelligence. We have to discriminate and lead responsible lives. What is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what is auspicious, what is inauspicious. The intelligence is supposed to discern this. But if we engage in sinful activities, eat something which is, Prabhupada would say, if you want to eat meat, if you want to eat something dirty, okay, there are bodies available for the Atma. Become a dog, become a pig, become a lion. Okay, eat now. Right? Somebody wants to have illicit sex. Right? There is birth like that available. So if we lead responsible lives, following the religious principles, and we practice austerity, sacrifice, cultivate knowledge, association of saintly people, what will happen? Then accordingly will advance on the spiritual path. So Krishna says the unsuccessful yogi, Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yogo Brashto Vijayat. But now, if somebody is a yoga aruda practitioner, fell after a long practice, you see here, Kule Bhavati Dhimatam. Which Kula one will take birth? One will take birth in the house of devotees, from where one will quickly begin. Right? No searching around. From the parents only one will receive it. One will revive one's divine consciousness. One naturally gets attracted to spiritual practice, and one will attain perfection ultimately. Right? So there are examples in Bhagavatam. One example we'll see Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj was a very advanced yogi. He left his kingdom, his family, his everything, decided I'll go to forest and perform meditation, was determined. But what happened? He saw one deer who gave birth to a baby and died. And Bharat Maharaj thought, oh, what am I doing? Will I leave this baby deer to die like this? No, I'll take care of it. He brought the baby deer to ashram, to his dwelling, and started taking care of the baby deer. And the baby deer took so much time, he forgot his meditation. And one day the baby deer, walked off into the jungle, into the forest, And Bharat Maharaj was so, anxious. Where is my baby dear? Where is my baby? He has become so attached by now. Somehow he fell from the mountain and died. And because he was thinking of the deer, the next birth he got was of a deer. But this deer was very special. This deer would not live with other deers. This deer would only live with around the sadhus, ashram, hermitage, only around that. And when this deer died, the next birth was again a human birth, which was of Jada Bharat. Bharat Maharaj, who became deer in the next life, who fell, and deer once again human form. But this time Bharat Maharaj decided, oh, I lost so much time unnecessarily getting attached to deer. And for all of us, anything can become deer. Right? We don't need a deer. Anything can become deer. Right? So Bharat Maharaj in the third life, he behaved like a madman. Literally madman. So that nobody will push him to do anything of this world. He could simply meditate. If you have any good qualification, the materialistic people of this world will want to take it away, will want to use it. But if you are a dumb, or a crazy guy, leave him. Good for nothing for us. And this was Bharat Maharaj's ploy. Very good. They better leave me to my meditation. I don't want to waste any more lives in this world. Right? And the last part, 46th and 47th verse. Now Krishna gives the various yogas. Tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi, right? Jnanibhyo apimato adhika karmibhyascha adhiko yogi tasmat yogi bhava Arjuna. So Krishna is saying, become a yogi, Arjuna. Which yogi? He says, the yogi who is better than one who performs tapasya, austerity. Okay. That yogi which is better than a jnana yogi. Okay, very good. That yogi which is better than a karma yogi. Right? So tapasvibhyo means dhyana yoga. Jnanibhyo is jnana yoga. Karmibhyo is nishkama karma yoga. Become yogi. Then which yogi is remaining? Tasmad yogi bhava Arjuna. Only one yogi, only one yogi, bhakti yogi. So dhyana, jnana, karma, everything Krishna is saying, become a yogi, not this, become a yogi. Become which yogi? Yoginam api sarvesham, amongst all the yogis, madgatinantara atmana, one who constantly thinks of me, shraddhavan, one who thinks of me with faith, bhajate yo mam, one performs devotional service. Krishna ends the chapter by saying, Same yukta tamo mata. That person is the greatest yogi as per Krishna. Who? One who is shraddhavan bhajate. One who has devotion for Krishna. One who is surrendered to Krishna. Tasmat yogi bhava Arjuna. Become such a devotee of mine. Become such a yogi. Right? So Krishna is still now in the 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, first Arjuna is bewildered. Then he surrenders to Krishna. Krishna gives the knowledge of soul. Krishna talks about how everyone loves to work, but the work in this world is binding because we are attached to action and we are attached to results. Krishna says, become a niche. If you want the soul, if you want to deliver the soul from the cycle of birth and death, so one has to understand, I have the senses, there's a mind, there's intelligence, there's an ego. What should I? Okay, I will engage everything for Krishna, let's say. So Karma Yoga will bring me to Nishkama Karma Yoga, where I am detached from results. I may be attached to action, but detached from results. So Nishkama Karma will give, the knowledge will arise out of Nishkama Karma. And from knowledge, one will get detachment. Detachment will help in meditation, dhyana. And Krishna explained the beginner at the yoga on the dhyana stage and the pro, the advanced person on the dhyana stage. And ultimately Krishna said, out of all these yogis that I have mentioned till far, tasmad yogi bhava Arjuna, become shraddhavan bhajate o mam, one who with shraddha, with faith, transcendental faith serves me. Become that kind of a yogi. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments, clarifications? You could ask them now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I wanted to know about while discussing Samadhi, you said 12 into 12 into 12.
Yes.
So what does that really mean?
It simply means the mind is unbridled, the mind is uncontrolled. Even to hold the mind for 12 seconds, a dharana stage is so difficult. 12 into 12 seconds is dhyana stage, and samadhi is 12 into 12 into 12. How much serious and sincere work we have to do, imagine. The test is at the point of death, my meditation, my dhyana has to be on Krishna, not dharana, not dhyana, okay, right? I have to be in samadhi stage. Everybody around me crying, the world still at my fingertips or at my feet. And I say, no, I will focus on Krishna. That samadhi we have to reach. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Gaurav, you call out.
Yeah, Chetan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, on the follow-up question, when we like go for samadhi, we are just like
No,
giving up
one
our
second.
karma.
Chetan, you don't go for samadhi, you reach samadhi. You don't go for it. Yeah.
So in that we are renunciating our karma and we are chanting. Means like then we aren't we means like in the very beginning we said when who is doing this karma, but not just means like detachment of renunciation is result, but we have to do karma. But now we are also renunciating the karma. Then how we means like is it better?
Yeah. Why are we renouncing karma?
That means like we should not renounce the karma.
Because karma is binding. What is binding? My attachment to action and my attachment to results. Okay. In Nishkama karma, I am no more attached to action. Right? I am no more I'm attached to action, but I am not attached to the results. I offer the results in yoga, Nishkama karma yoga to Krishna. So if somebody can practice Nishkama karma yoga, one will reach the same stage as what a dhyana yogi is doing. But Arjuna also asked this question, it seems difficult, one will fall. Krishna says, yes. That's why continue performing action under the guidance of spiritual master, under the superior guidance. Am I going straight line? Am I going the safe path? Am I going the correct path? That's why I gave this, some prohibited actions have to be given up. So Guru will tell, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no more papa, which will bind you again. No more sinful activities. It will bind you into this world. So karma, nishkama karma has to be done under a lot of guidance. But one who has reached a stage, right, where one can renounce completely and take to meditation, right? Yoga Arudha Krishna is explaining. One has reached to the point of dhyana and samadhi. Oh, what a stage to seek, right? And Srila Prabhupada would say a bhakti yogi is in 24-hour samadhi. Because a bhakti yogi, right? Now, a bhakta yogi means 24 hours for Krishna. So many times in ISKCON parlance, we will call everyone a devotee. But ask, how much are you attached to action and how much are you attached to results? Right? Like, when it comes to do charity, very quickly we'll understand how much am I attached to the results of my action. That much devoted I am. The action, I want my own. I will only work in software and I will earn this much only. I'm attached to action and I'm attached to results. Where is devotion here? I can say that, I have a certain bent of, my employment or my career is in software. Okay, ठीक है, चलो. You may be attached to that action. But what about the results? When it comes to results, then we understand how much attached we are to this world. Am I ready for Atma to get liberated? My attachments can tell me. No, not yet prepared, not yet ready. The whole focus is the earlier I can become serious and determined. Right? How early can I become serious? And in association of other yogis, other devotees, I practice and I come to a point of a complete sarvadharman parityaj. I 100% surrender to Krishna. Okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes.
Vrajmalini Mataji.
Hello, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
I had
Krishna.
one question. You just spoke of when a yogi who falls after just short practice, once he returns from the heavenly planets, then he's born into a spiritual family, or
No,
okay.
not spiritual family.
Hmm.
I said purified people.
Purified. Okay. Or the
So,
second option was a wealthy one.
wealthy one, yes.
So I can understand the reason for the first one, but why a wealthy one? Because the money, if he's into a wealthy one, then that money is gonna deviate him from.
Agreed. Yes, yes. That factor is always there. That is always there. That money could be, because as soon as money comes, the senses go wild. I can buy this, I can have this, I can do that, everything, I can do. Money makes the mind and the senses go wild. Right? Especially the paper currency, all the more dangerous. Right?
So how is
Or
that
the
a benefit to him?
benefit, because this guy will not have to unnecessarily struggle to make the two ends meet. But the benefit is given as much as one has practiced last life, right? Why do you want to at least one will not struggle for basic necessities. Like, in India, if you become serious for spiritual practice, many will say, "Arey bhuke pet bhajan na hoye Gopala." And or somebody will say, "You have everything, that's why you're doing bhajan." You know. So some level of material arrangements are there, then one will not will not struggle for that, and one can practice nicely. Okay, that's the benefit.
But then also, I've also heard that once you surrender, Krishna tends to take everything away from you.
No, not from you. Very, very special souls. Krishna says, for whom I want two kinds of devotees. Krishna will take away everything. First one is whom Krishna wants to do something special for him in this world, the chosen one. Krishna chooses that soul, that devotee, like Srila Prabhupada, like Bali Maharaj, taken away everything, not everyone. And the second one is for whom Krishna says, "Come on, I want you to come and join my pastimes. Come on, come back to my abode." Either service in this world or service in Krishna's abode. Then Krishna takes away everything. Nothing remains. The devotee wanted to give off. Krishna says, "I take it away. Chalo, I'll do that job also for you. I will take away your attachments, which were keeping you here." But that is Krishna's favor to somebody whom Krishna says, "I want you now." The yogi wants Krishna, the devotee wants Krishna, and imagine here it's the other way around. Krishna says, "I have chosen you, now I want you." Okay?
Okay.
So it will not happen for anybody and everybody. Where Krishna takes away everything. Yes.
Kaushik Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Next.
Prabhuji, I have this question, like how someone would take the accountability of their action if their action is sanctioned by Krishna? Because I see many times people say, "Oh, you know, Krishna is asking me to do this. Okay. If it goes bad, also Krishna, goes good, also Krishna, good desire, also Krishna. And then how someone can take this accountability for their
Yes.
own actions, what they are doing?
Two ways. Was it sanctioned by scriptures and was it blessed by Guru? If it was not, then it was your mental thing.
Okay.
Sanctioned by scriptures and blessed by Guru. Two things have to happen. Otherwise, it was my choice.
But that means the picture you were showing in the first slide, the desire, and then you have the somebody is pulling you, right? Like then how do you understand the picture then?
So
If-
I desire, right? I desire, and if it's my desire, there is no sanction, there is no blessing, right? The senses give input, I desire, and I desire it very bad. So Krishna first will say, don't. No, it is bad, it is wrong, it is sin. Everyone gets to know from the heart, I'm getting into wrong direction. This is bad, this is not permitted, but I want it. Krishna says, try. Okay, take it. Try. So Krishna sanctions and the material nature will provide. Try. You try this also, but you'll have to reap the karma of it. You will further go down the soul, and then we cry, why did this happen to me? Why are bad things happen to a good person like me? No, bad things are happening because I was not good before. I was bad before. I made those choices in the last birth, which I may have forgotten, but the nature, material nature does not.
Okay.
Got it?
It's more that Krishna is facilitating your desire, but
Simple.
you are still being the person, taking that. Yeah.
We tell our children, right? Someday, no, don't do this. But they want it. Okay, take it. What do we do? What can be done?
Okay.
Right?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Kaushik.
Prabhuji, do we have time for one more question? There is a question in chat. Which
Okay,
I'll read.
we'll take.
So this is from Mili Mataji. She's asking, does short human lifespan means very few past karmas to be balanced out? Is this a golden opportunity as compared to others which have to live long life and keep balancing karmas?
No, you cannot say short human lifespan means very few karmas. It could also mean that one doesn't deserve human life for that long. Right? One could have bad karma also. It's not basis of lifespan. It depends on consciousness of a person. Then you can say, oh, must have been a pure soul. Huh? This guy is a pure soul. Look at the choices this guy makes. It's like simple. You come to the temple and there is prasadam counter put up. Right? Prasadam serving, food serving is going to happen. What do you pick up? The plate you pick up to eat, or you go behind the counter, I will serve. Very simple. I will serve or I will enjoy. Will tell what kind of soul are you. I want to serve. Advanced guy. This guy is advanced. But everywhere I enjoy, I want it first. I is so prominent. Right? Like before we were devotees, you'll find, we were cooking. And while we are cooking, we put it in our mouth to taste. But as we become devotees, we want to offer it to Krishna first. No, we don't eat. First, it has to be offered to Krishna. That means a purified soul. Yoga. Gaurav, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Suddenly, I think all of your video is frozen for me. I thought some internet issues on my side.
Yeah, you were frozen as well, Prabhu, but you're back now. But we could hear you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
That's all the question. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. So next week, I will be at Ayodhya. It's my first visit after the new temple is opened there. I will try my best in case I have a good internet connection. Then I'll surely join all of you and have the session. In case I am not able to do that, if I can figure out a day before that it's not happening, then I will assign another person on my behalf. One more devotee will come and will give the session, but we will not have a break in between. We will continue with the 7th chapter, but somebody else I'll nominate. Okay, thank you very much. Hare
Definitely,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Jai Mat.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.